Today, we're going to talk about how all of you out there who feed your children a steady garbage diet of ultra-processed foods, ultra-high processed foods, how we're going to stop that. Because we finally have a study. I know it's weird. Like last week, we had a study come out about how you can't actually be obese and healthy. Like we needed a study to tell us that gravity exists, like that it's bad for your legs and your joints and stuff like that. We needed a study for some reason to tell us that if you're obese, if you eat in a way that makes you obese, you're much more likely to get type 2 diabetes, like 4.8 times as likely to get diabetes than if you were of a normalized weight. Like we shouldn't need these studies. I'm just letting you know, people. Like it's kind of disappointing in society that we need studies to come out that then still get ignored or don't even get talked about. A study that came out on June 14th in JAMA Pediatrics, association between childhood consumption of ultra-processed foods and adipose trajectories in the Avalon longitudinal study of parents and children birth cohort. Question: is consumption of ultra-processed foods, UPF, in childhood associated with worse adipose trajectories tracing into early adulthood? Findings in this cohort study of 9,025 British children, growth trajectories of body mass index, fat mass index, weight, and waist circumference from 7 to 24 years of age were greater among children with the highest versus lowest quintile of ultra-processed food consumption, meaning the findings suggest that radical and effective public health actions to reduce children's exposure to and consumption of ultra-processed foods and remove barriers to accessing minimally processed foods are urgently needed to counteract the growing burden of obesity in England and globally. Now, the link to that study is going to be in the description box for those platforms that have a description box. It'll be there. If not, you saw the title of it. So I do really suggest you go read the study. You don't need to take my word for it. Go read the study. Try to read it in its entirety. If any of you run into words you don't understand, look them up. There's no danger in you learning shit. None. So please learn this stuff. This study clearly shows that we need to stop treating our children like garbage disposals. We need to stop feeding them ultra-processed foods. I know this is crazy, but you should feed your child mostly food. Like it should be like actually mostly food. That should be the dominant food source, should be food, not ultra-processed foods. It is more time consuming, yes, I get it. It may not be as convenient, yes, I get it. But we absolutely know that being obese is bad for you. You know this. There was a study last week that says that being obese is bad for you. You cannot be healthy and obese. It is misleading when people say it. We have the data that we should not have had to even need for people to still now deny that. People are still going to now deny this. They're still going to feed their children ultra-processed foods as a main source and then wonder why their child has all sorts of disorders, including type 2 diabetes, coronary artery disease. They're going to wonder why their children don't live past 40. When you're feeding your child a steady diet of ultra-processed foods, we are hurting these children. It is not okay to just still continue on as if we do not know this. If you know that being obese is bad for you, or bad for people, and you know that these foods lead to obesity, if you consistently still feed it to your children, are you doing what's best for them? Please think about their future. Please think about their future health. Please stop worrying less about, all the fee stuff, all the feeling stuff, and get to feed your children and yourselves food, actual food. Be healthy, move your bodies, get some exercise. We need to get there. We absolutely do. I don't know how many scientific studies you guys need to show us the stuff we already fucking knew, but I hope it's not too many more. God damn.